You're listening to Something Cheeky, a collection of podcasts where two sisters discuss books, TV, and movies with just enough irreverence and far too many pop culture references. Welcome to episode 3 of Something Cheeky, the Gentleman Bastards edition. I'm Nikki.
I'm Rosanna.
In this episode, we're discussing The Lies of Locke Lamora, book 1 in the series by Scott Lynch. I've read the whole series. Rosanna has only read up to what we're covering today. In this episode, we're covering Chapter 2, Second Touch at the Teeth Show, in which Locke seals the deal and proves that there are sharks both in and out of the water that day. So, Rosanna, what was your reaction to Chapter 2?
So, in this chapter, I think we got a lot more information about how this world is different than our world, slightly. And then we also got to watch Locke as his character really laying it on thick in this con. Yeah. It was a good chapter. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed parts of it.
Not all of it.
Yeah.
Are there particular parts you really didn't like?
Yeah, I'm actually going to discuss them in my top 3.
Ah, okay.
So I'll leave it for that.
I'm nervous to hear what your top 3 is now, but we'll find out later.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite quote from this chapter?
My favorite quote was by Cecilia, the Don's wife or lady, I guess. She says,
Donna?
Yes, she says, "Unbelievable, taken in so fast by such a simple trick." So she's talking about the women fighting the sharks.
Yeah.
But Locke is like, "Yep." Because that's exactly what's happening. And I thought that was just a really funny little line that really went both ways.
Yeah, there were a couple things I felt that way about, things that they said where it had a kind of a double meaning for Locke and Jean.
Yeah. I enjoyed that, yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into what happened. It starts right out with Locke and the Don and Donna and Jean and Conte all on the Salvara's barge. It's Idler's Day, which sounds really nice.
It sounds nice.
I want an Idler's Day. I maybe don't want to watch people die on Idler's Day.
It does sound like it might be fun if you did it a different way.
Yeah, probably.
Just hang about, no work. Yeah.
The description of the barge to me sounds precarious and beautiful all at once. Just first of all, it sounds massive. It's holding 12 different trees.
Yeah, that's odd.
It must weigh a ton, like probably a literal ton with all the dirt and the trees and the box and the people. It said the box could hold 20 people.
Right.
That's quite big.
Yeah. I'm
just imagining a whole bunch of these floating around, just massive, massive barges.
Yeah, they must have a really big water area right there.
Yeah, I can't imagine it has much in the way of waves, or else you'd be in big trouble.
Yeah, is it like a bay, kind of?
I'm not sure. I want to think lake, almost, just because it's so calm, but it has to be quite large to fit everything. Yeah. But I'm not sure it's ever made clear. Maybe I should just look at the map. So the trees have black trunks and bright emerald leaves. Also sounds beautiful. And they're now a chemical mix. With stairs in the middle of the barge. I don't think I'd ever feel comfortable climbing stairs on a boat that is not like a massive yacht. Though maybe this is like a massive yacht.
Yeah, but every time I hear barge, I think of just a flat, like, just like a runway.
That is what I think of too.
So you wouldn't want to climb up stairs in the middle of a runway. It just seems really precarious. I
always imagine the raft that Huckleberry Finn is on.
Exactly.
With Jim.
But bigger.
I'm like, I don't want to be on a staircase in the middle of that raft.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be really easy to just fall off.
Yeah, but it has all the, 20 rowers along the sides to balance it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Just sounds really, really unpleasant, but I'm sure it's lovely.
I'm sure. I wouldn't want to spend Idler's Day any other way.
The Donna, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Donna.
I think that's right, yeah.
Yeah, she is flirting with Locke, which is obviously a ruse to get him uncomfortable, or sorry, Lucas fair white, to make him uncomfortable so they get a better deal. And I loved the thought from Jean here. Throwing blondes at Locke Lamora was not unlike throwing lettuce at sharks.
Yeah. I actually considered that bit for my favorite quote because I thought it was so interesting because we don't know very much about Locke. So even just what sort of woman he's attracted to is information.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think his tastes are?
I'm going to go with dark, I guess. I mean, but the thing is, I'm hoping at some point we're going to hear about past relationships or something about his history between his time where he first gets to Father Chains and right now. I would love some of that filled in. And maybe that's what the interludes will do through the rest of the book. I hope so. I don't know.
Okay. So we find out that the Donna is an alchemical botanist.
Which is cool.
That is really cool. So she basically grew all the trees that are on the barge. Then they have a ginger scald, which reminds Locke of the Shades Hill punishments, which is kind of sad.
It is, yeah. Also, it sounds disgusting.
I thought the name sounded really good. Which is weird because I don't like ginger at all. But it sounded like it was fun to make, but not fun to drink.
No.
You'd think that at that point he'd be basically immune to ginger oil.
That's true.
Because I'm sure he had it a lot when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the memory more than the taste. I mean, the taste brings the memory, and that's what's hard for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we find out we're at the shifting Revel, and the whole thing just sounds so exciting to watch. There are multi-storied barges. There are 100 barges of nobility. Regular common people are out. We've got yellow jackets, prisoners everywhere. There's a ton of stuff going on in this place.
I guess it just sounds like it's just enormous. I mean, to imagine that many barges of different heights and widths and just hundreds and hundreds of people everywhere just sounds like it's a real spectacle.
Yeah.
It's just definitely something to see. And I can understand people that don't even have barges, the poor people coming out to look and to watch, like a carnival or a circus or something. It's just like, it's really interesting and fun environment.
And it sounds like it's a place for people to let off steam, which the Duke, it said he underwrites it. In order to, it said, there were few things like a good revel to pull the fangs from any unrest before it had time to fester.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
He's paying for this to make sure that people are relaxed and don't, I guess, turn into mob rule.
Yeah, that's really smart of him.
Yeah, especially since there is so much going on in the next kingdom over.
Right.
In Emberlane, which sounds like there's about to be a civil war, so it seems smart of the Duke to really try to keep that under control and keep people as happy as possible.
Yeah, that's a smart decision.
Interesting point of view when Locke was Lucas. I love that when it went back and forth between saying Locke and Lucas, depending on who was thinking that moment. Yeah. That was fun. But at one point, Lucas said that basically the equivalent of the banks think that money equals power rather than money can buy power or ways to keep power, like armies and mercenaries and things like that. And that's something I had never really thought about. Yeah. Just, money doesn't automatically make you powerful. It's what you do with it that can give you that power if you want it to.
Right. Yeah.
Which is pretty deep. So there are all these iron cages that hold sharks, and some of them, I guess, I was trying to picture how they would float on the water, or I guess be held up, because some of the people were standing on planks on top of the cages. Which I'm not sure I'd want to do that, knowing what's in the cages.
Nope.
No, it sounds very scary. I loved the gifts that Locke gave, because there's such a big ado made about them after he opens them. And the case that they come in, it's this fancy leather satchel with like iron edges and a really fancy lock with an ivory key. Mm-hmm. It just sounds like a really gorgeous present. Then it's just wine. Really, really, really expensive wine. Mm-hmm. And some rum that I think is... Or sorry, yeah, it's brandy. It's not wine, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to imagine what it tastes like, because I don't really know what brandy tastes like. I guess I've had it maybe once, but...
I don't know if
it's not a flavor I can bring to mind.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had brandy. I'm not really well-versed in liquors in general. Mostly, just...
Except Jaeger.
Yeah, just the standard Jaeger, vodka, tequila. Nothing for the fancy schmancies. I'm not a big fan of whiskey at all. So, I don't know what brandy tastes like, but apparently a lot of people like it.
Yeah, I think it's sweet.
I think so, too.
Like an aperitif.
I don't know.
Aperitif. I'm just saying words I don't know how to say because I've only ever seen them written before. This is a terrible way to run a podcast. Here's a word I don't know.
That's what happens when you're a reader.
That's true.
You read all kinds of words, but you don't usually use them. So when you do, it's like, oh, that might be right.
I used to read, as you know, the Sweet Valley High books.
Yes.
With the twins. Mm-hmm. It had the identical twins.
They were great.
And I embarrassed myself at some point in, let's say, 5th grade, because I was talking about them and how the girls spoke in unison.
Oh, did they?
Because I had only ever read the word unison. And so I didn't know how to pronounce it, and I had no idea that it's pronounced unison. And now I just hear unicycle when I say unison. Because I still have unison in my head, and I have to correct myself every time I say it.
And as a small elementary school child, what conversation were you having where you needed to use the word unison?
I was probably trying to show off.
I think so.
Which then just backfired completely.
Yes. I think a surprise. You probably were. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Terrible.
There are a lot of words
so
like that.
Smart. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So all this brandy is crazy expensive, especially when we at one point find out, how much a crown is worth.
Right.
So these things are, a brand new cask is it's thousands of dollars. It's like $1,500 or something for a brand new cask of something, and it just gets more expensive.
Right.
And that's for a half gallon.
Yeah.
During the Revel, they have all these executions, and they sound disgusting.
Yep.
And I am really glad that I do like I do with A Song of Ice and Fire books, where I read and I try not to read too closely.
Yeah.
I don't... In some books, I'll go back and read a sentence again because I have the tendency to skim. So I have to read something twice a lot of times. I'll have to go back for a paragraph. Mm-hmm. And so in things like this where it's pretty violent, I usually don't do that second read to make sure I got every little piece.
Right.
Like the sharks who got every little piece.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, I will sometimes be like, okay, this is a part that I'm not going to imagine. I'm just going to read the words and go through it, and then I'll start imagining at the end.
I couldn't help some of it, though, when they were negotiating. Locke heard a splash that was a torso. And
yeah.
Also, the devilfish, the description of it made it sound like a squid to me.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe not a giant squid, but a quite large squid.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, they just seem so much scarier than a lot of things.
Yeah, they do. I'm kind of afraid of ocean animals in general.
Why?
I'm actually terrified of whales.
What?
Why are
you afraid of whales?
I'm so scared of whales. Okay, so...
They don't eat people.
Okay, well, they have really big mouths. That could be an accident.
Are you Jonah now?
Okay, so as our listeners probably don't know, you and I, with our mother and our aunt, went on an Alaskan cruise a few years ago, and I had nightmares.
What?
The entire, month before the cruise, because we had booked a whale watching tour, I had nightmares about falling into the water with real whales right next to me. I was so scared.
Oh
And I think it's just because the volume of these animals, they are so big. It just, it's something, I guess, that I can't actually imagine because I've never been right next to a whale. And so my imagination is making it scarier than maybe it even is. But they're so big.
Yeah.
And I'm only an adequate swimmer. I'm sure there is a word for a whaleophobia. And that is what I have. Yes.
So we find out the basic plot of the ruse that Locke and Jean and the Gentleman Bastards are running.
It's pretty complicated.
It is.
Yeah.
And I love that they aren't quite sure they're going to get away with it at that point.
Right.
Because they think that they know what the Don knows about it, which is what most people know. But it's possible that he has some sources they don't know about. And which could ruin the entire plan.
Right.
I wondered at this point what their plan was. Out on someone else's barge with with Conte, the very good fighter.
Right.
If suddenly the Don's like, yeah, that's all total bullshit.
Right.
I know that Jean has, 2 hatchets down the back of his vest.
Yeah, I mean, do they just push him off the side of the barge into the shark water?
I know.
They're mad at him. Where are they going to go?
You can go.
They're going to climb up the ladder.
Jackets.
Yeah, they're going to climb up the ladder, and then what?
Yeah.
They're just higher. Yeah, I don't know if they had an escape plan.
Yeah, well, and there are guards everywhere, too, so I'm sure if there was a big ruckus, the Yellow Jackets would be coming over to find out what's going on. So it really is incredibly dangerous at this point.
Yeah.
They just, I mean, so many things could go badly. Also, 6,000 casks of brandy. That is a lot.
Yeah.
They want them to move.
Lot.
And this guy's just going to give him, 25,000 crowns to start it all?
Which is so much money.
Yes.
That's a lot. And if you think about, it's half of his money.
Yeah.
So he's used to having a lot of money. And if he's going to lose half his money, that's going to be uncomfortable for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think uncomfortable is a huge understatement.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to have to change his lifestyle. They're really taking a lot from him. Or the plan is to take a lot from him. And I haven't really seen... I can see why this guy is the mark. Because he's got the money and because, they've done a lot of research and that's... They really know. But I haven't seen that this guy deserves this.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like that bad of a guy, and it seems like a horrible thing to do to him.
Yeah, I don't know if they just don't care.
Right. That's what I'm wondering,
who he is,
too.
Or...
Yeah.
I mean, I do know, but I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, well, I'm glad I'll find out, but I almost want him to be a bad guy, so I don't feel bad rooting against him.
I think you get hints of the Donna being sneaky when he talks about he basically threatens them that if there's even an implication that they're trying to get the Austerschellen process from anyone associated with the House of Ballister, that basically there will be serious consequences. He doesn't lay them out, but it's pretty clear somebody's getting hurt.
Yeah. I don't know about him. He just seems like a guy that wants to take advantage of what he thinks is a really good opportunity.
Yeah, they both seem pretty shrewd.
Yeah, it could be.
Even though she seems maybe a bit more than him.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Oh, I love where there are 2 parts in the chapter where the narrative is almost it basically is from the point of view of the Don. There's one where he felt like he was going to throw up as soon as the 559 cask came out. And then another where he and the Donna grasped hands under the table. Because they were so excited.
Yeah.
About what was happening. I like the jump back and forth.
Yeah, I do too.
So, which was interesting too when we find out how much these casks are worth. We found out that the way that Locke and Jean got the real cask of $550 was because they won it in a card game where they cheated.
Right.
And apparently it was worth so much money that the guy sent assassins after them to get it back.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot. It must be worth a crazy amount.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if it cost them, it said it cost them $800 mostly to buy off the assassins that were trying to kill them.
Right. Yeah. Which, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, because all of this money that they're spending to get to this point is an investment that they're hoping to get a big return. But, you know, maybe not. So, yeah, they're definitely risk takers.
Mm-hmm. And so they start doing the math at how much money they could actually make if this all happened.
Mm-hmm.
And all the money because of the demand that would go up because there wouldn't be any new brandy coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And then Conte says, fuck damn. And then the Donna says, and then he apologizes to the Donna because, you know, how dare he cuss in front of her.
Right.
And she says, your calculations are off. This merits triple fuck damn at least. I just love that everyone throws out the window all sense of propriety.
Yes.
Because they're so excited about the amount of money that can be made.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a line that says, Locke used a particularly endearing wry smile he'd once practiced before a mirror glass for weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And I can totally picture him doing this at any age, even an adult Locke.
Yep.
Okay, so Locke finishes up the offer, basically, and all the warnings.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't mention this in your favorite quote. I thought you might, but you had a similar one.
Mm-hmm.
And she says it's a very attractive offer.
Mm-hmm.
By the gods, Lucas, if we ever cross paths with those thieves again, I'm going to thank them for arranging our introduction. I'm pretty sure she's going to see Callum and Galdo at some point again.
Yeah.
So she'll have the chance to do that.
Yeah.
I love that, because I just imagine Locke giggling inside whenever this sort of thing happens.
Yeah, he really has to make sure he holds in his reactions.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't give anything away.
Yeah. It's so great.
Mm-hmm.
So then we see the actual teeth show, where only women traditionally fight.
Mm-hmm.
The leaping sharks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really cool with leaping sharks.
Yeah.
I don't want that around me. It sounds pretty terrifying. Though the sharks themselves sound beautiful. They're striped with all different colors.
Yeah, they do.
And they're just full of muscle.
Something I'd like to see from behind glass. Yes. Yep.
I'd rather not watch that teeth show at all.
Yeah.
And the women do crazy things. They're balancing on one foot and jumping. There's one where at one point she does a one-handed handstand.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I could not do that on dry land.
No.
Much less when a shark is leaping at me.
Yeah.
Oh, so we hear about I'm going to try to say this, Berengius twins that haven't been at the Revel for months.
Right.
And apparently Locke knows why. And they're quite famous.
Right.
Did you wonder how Locke knows them and where the heck they are? Where do you think they are?
So, I wasn't too curious about how he knows them. I feel like he probably knows a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in that sort of performance kind of venue area. He seems like he would be in and out of those sorts of people. Of course, the first thing, this is horrible. The first thing I think of when they're out for a few months is that they're pregnant.
Does Locke have some illegitimate children out there?
I don't know. But to me, when I hear that a woman back in the olden days is out of public view for several months, I think pregnancy. And obviously you can't be fighting sharks if you're growing a baby. So that was my first thought.
These women are pretty impressive. I'm not sure I'd put that past them.
Yeah, but so if you're, okay, maybe this is just going to be the parent and me talking, but if you're a woman and you're fighting, that's for you. But if you're pregnant or if you have children, you take less risks. Because
that's probably true.
Because your child, you start to realize is more important. Their life is more important than your life. And it's your job to protect their life.
Speak for yourself.
Okay.
I am the most important in this house.
Okay. Usually people, women, with hearts, feelings, and emotions.
Hey.
Put the life of their child above their own life. And so I feel like if that was the case, they wouldn't be risking their lives if it would mean losing a child. However, I feel like that's a long shot. So
also, they're both out. Did he knock up? Maybe Locke and Jean are both having babies.
No. Maybe the twins knocked up the sisters.
Oh, twins and twins?
Yeah.
Double sets of twins.
Yes. So I don't know. I don't really think that that's what it is, but that was the first thought I had.
I'm definitely putting that down as your prediction, is that the twins knocked up the twins.
Okay, good.
Love it.
Yeah, so I don't know why they would be out, but it doesn't surprise me that Locke knows. Mm-hmm. He seems like he knows a lot of stuff. Because if they only do one, trick, I don't know, what should we call this? One con a year? Mm-hmm. He's researching and investigating all year long. I'm figuring he's getting information besides just this one person that he's going after. He's pulling in lots of information. Mm-hmm. So I think he probably knows them, or he travels in the same circle, or he knows about them. So it doesn't surprise me that he knows why they're out of commission. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're in jail. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe they went on a trip. They're allowed to go on vacation.
I hope they are.
I'm assuming.
To find different sharks in different places to fight.
Or I don't know, maybe their dad's like, you need to get married and quit fighting sharks. I don't know.
I don't know why I imagine them not having a dad in this scenario.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. Locke manages to get them to say that they will give him a promissory note for 5,000 crowns right up front. Mm-hmm. I feel like at this point, they could just walk away.
I thought that
once they get that note.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a lot of money itself. That would probably, I'm sure that would pay for all their investments they've done so far. Mm-hmm. So,
But they're not small time.
They are not small time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd call that small time, but...
They are not medium time.
They're big time.
They're extra large time.
So all the negotiations finish up, and then the Donna, who was full of great quotes this chapter, says, "My father used to say that one moment of misjudgment at the revel is worth 10 at any other time." And that is so true.
And Locke's like, yep.
Uh-huh. I'm going to agree with that, lady. Next time we're going to discuss the interlude, which is called Locke Stays for Dinner. It's time for the top 3. Rosanna, what's your category this week?
All right, Nikki. My category for the top 3 this week is Revel Events I Would Not Like to Watch.
The whole thing.
So, number 1, the penance bouts. This was petty criminals accept beatings by the Duke's staff member in exchange for a reduced sentence or better living conditions.
No, slightly better living conditions.
Slightly better.
I noted that word when I read it.
So instead of moldy hay to sleep on, you get clean hay.
Oh, that's a big difference. Definitely worth a few bruised ribs.
Yes. So pretty much what you're doing is you're watching a big, strong man who probably gets regular meals, beating up people that have come out of jail just so they can be in jail less time or more comfortably. Mm-hmm. He's just going to beat them up. And then they get knocked out, so somebody in a boat has to go around and pull them out of the water before they get eaten. So that sounds terrible. Mm-hmm. Number 2, the judicial forfeitures, which is the really bad criminals, the rapists and murderers, who are, in quotation marks, armed. They get tiny little knives to fight the devilfish who have multiple tentacles.
Yeah, 12-foot long tentacles.
Yes. Now, I am not opposed to murderers and rapists being devoured by devilfish. I actually support that very much. Okay. I wish that was a thing we did.
So you're for the death penalty?
I'm for the death
via marine life?
Exactly.
Oh, God.
However...
That's harsh.
However, it's not something I'd like to watch.
Ah, okay.
Not something I'd like to watch.
And so then, you're not Ned Stark then?
No.
You're supposed to perform the justice yourself?
No, gosh, no. No.
If you sentence a man to death, you are the devilfish, and you must kill him.
Well, I kind of feel like they're probably not working with juries at this point. Maybe there's just a judge that just says, okay, all right, I'm not getting into a debate about the death penalty with you. I'm not doing that.
Not even Westeros' death penalty?
No, not
because it's pretty severe.
It's pretty harsh, yeah. No, but I feel like this would be pretty gross to watch. Tentacles, pulling people apart, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Screams of horror and mutilation, yeah.
Did you notice they also mentioned arsonists in that area of criminals?
Pretty harsh for an arson.
If you think about it, Locke was basically an arsonist. He burned the pub down.
Yeah, but it was an accident, wasn't it?
Still an arsonist. Well,
I guess an arsonist, it depends on if you burn down an empty building or if you burn down a building with people in it. Because as far as I'm concerned, that would be a murderer.
Mm-hmm.
So...
a lot of people did die because of Locke.
That's true.
In multiple instances.
But he was a juvenile, so... Yeah. No, I mean, he's definitely got some blood on his hands, as we'll read in the interlude also. But yeah, he does. He's, And then number 3 is, of course, the teeth show. Mm-hmm. So, here's the thing about the teeth show. I'm pretty jazzed about the fact that it's women. Mm-hmm. And they're like warriors. And they're fighting these wolf sharks. And apparently they do some sort of, training. And they've got skills and stuff because often they don't die. Mm-hmm. Often they're the winner. Mm-hmm. And in my mind... So, I'm assuming that many people have seen the preview for Wonder Woman that's coming out in June.
Oh, yeah.
Which I am obsessed with. I cannot wait until that movie comes out. It looks amazing.
It does look good.
So, in my mind, the women fighting these sharks are the Amazons from Wonder Woman. They're wearing the same sort of gear and these swords and all this kind of stuff. So, I think that part would be, like, super cool. But the fact that some of them actually do get torn apart by sharks, that is not something I would like to watch.
I thought it was a really great description of the women that is so different from especially fantasy books that you see when they talk about women, especially female warriors. So Scott Lynch described the fighters. He said that they were wearing, this cotton shift on top and a wrestler kind of bottom. Mm-hmm. And they were very muscular. Mm-hmm. Not once did he say, it hugged their sensuous curves, and their flowing hair shined in the sun. And just these horrible, very sexual descriptions of women that we get so much, where, the armor has the breastplate with actual breasts on it. Just things like that always drive me crazy. And I'm so used to that I didn't even notice it until you started talking about them again. Yeah. And I realized they are not sexualized at all, and I love that so much.
Yeah, it's really great.
Yeah. So thank you, Scott Lynch.
Yes.
Very happy.
Pro women. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good because they're out there because they're good at what they do, and it's not because of how they look.
Well, he even describes the Donna, and you can tell she's very beautiful, but he doesn't talk about her in a sexual way.
Right.
So, I mean, he can certainly get across that a woman can be beautiful, but doesn't have to objectify her.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
I really liked it.
So far, I like the way he's portraying women. I mean, we haven't gotten a lot of them in the story. I'm really glad that this chapter brought some of them in. And I'm not mad at him at all about it. He's doing a good job.
I also appreciated that the Donna is definitely just as intellectually savvy as her husband.
I love that she was smart. I loved that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot of times when you're talking about a really powerful man,
he's got
this gorgeous, empty-headed wife. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm really, really happy that it wasn't that case.
Yeah. It's nice that she wasn't comedic in any way.
Yeah. He really,
Well, I mean, she was funny, but she wasn't written as someone for the readers to laugh at.
Right.
At all.
Right, yeah.
It was great. So, yeah, I'm loving the the female portrayal in these books, too.
Yeah, me too.
Do you have any predictions for what's going to happen next?
I really don't, because I'm not sure what the next step is in this plan.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Locke is going to take the money, that original $5,000 that he's having him commit to, but I don't know what his plan is to do with it. I don't know what the next step is to move forward to getting more money. I don't know how deep into this story he has to go. I don't know what else he has to obtain to back up the story, to keep it up. So I don't really have a lot of predictions. I don't know. I hope we get to see, the continuing women coming into the story. I'd like to hear about the sister warriors and what's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'd like to see also what Callow and Gallo, am I saying that right? Galdo. What their next part is in it, because I'm a big fan of those characters. So
yeah, I really missed them in this chapter.
I did too. I'd like them to come back and play some more parts and have their funny little lines. And so, yeah, I don't really have predictions. I have a lot of questions. I just want to keep getting into the story and see where they're going with it.
So do you think that the Gentleman Bastards will get as far as actually taking the sea voyage? Or do you think they're going to try to get the money before then? Or because Locke's supposed to be on one ship, Jean on the other with the Dawn. Locke goes with Conte on one ship.
So
that's the plan.
It's hard for me to see, I guess just based on the kind of person I am, it's hard for me to see this going very far, because I'm not a big risk taker. So if it was me, I would try to get to the money with the least amount of, getting into this whole thing, to actually getting on ships and stuff. So the more you drag out this trick, the more things can go wrong, the more opportunity to get caught. So, I mean, it may be that he has to get on the ship, that has to go through. Mm-hmm. At some point, the Donna's going to realize that he's been tricked.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's still going to have a lot of money, not nearly as much as he had, but he's going to have a lot, and he could come after them.
Yeah.
So are they going to kill him? Or are they going to, strand him in this other country? Something's going to have to happen to prevent the repercussions of this action.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea how that's going to work. You want to tell me?
Yeah, some stuff happens, and things are good for some people and bad for some people.
Boo!
Spoiler!
That's the worst. That's the worst answer ever.
I just described basically the plot of any book ever.
Pretty much. Or TV show. Or movie. Some people do really well, and some people don't. The end. Yeah.
That sounds great. Where can I find it? It's time for Cheek of the Week, where we talk about something awesome that we found that we want to share with you. My Cheek of the Week is this little thing called a book chair. It's a stand, basically, for a book that you're reading, and it has little, I guess you could call them arms on the bottom to hold pages back. You can always use it, you can use it for paperbacks, hardbacks, you can use it for tablets. Sometimes I use it for my phone if I want. But I've had one of these things for years, and it is amazing. I love it because I do a lot of reading when I eat. Then I don't have to, try to hold a paperback open or try to balance a hardback in my hand that gets too heavy. And it props it up. It has a few different levels you can put it at. And they come in all these really cute patterns, and I really, really like them. I've had mine maybe, 8 years. I've had the same one, and it's held up amazingly well. And it's really nice to have, and I use it just all the time. It folds down, too, so you can store it really easily.
It'd also be good for holding cookbooks.
Oh, yeah. I actually have used that for that before.
It's a cool, it's a cool thing. You should post a picture of it.
I will. I got mine originally many years ago from Uncommon Goods. It's a website that has some really cool stuff.
That's a cool website.
Yeah, they have amazing things.
Yeah.
And I went to get the link to put on our website, and they don't sell it anymore, which is so sad, but you can find it on Amazon. You can also find it at Thinking Goods website, which is the company that makes them. I'm going to put the link for both Amazon's, which is all third-party sellers, and for the Thinking Gifts, because Thinking Gifts is really only great for people that are in the UK, because if you want shipping to the US, it's like $40.
Yikes.
Which is more than the Bookshare itself, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I found out when I went there that they have all these other kinds too. They have what's called a book monster, and it's great for when you're sitting in bed. It's almost like a pillow that holds your book up, or your tablet or whatever you're using, and it looks all squishy. Everyone should buy one because they're fantastic.
So my cheek of the week is a Leuchtturm 1917 medium-sized journal.
That sounds really fancy.
It is. Leuchtturm, I think, is German, maybe? Mm-hmm. It's a hardback journal. It comes in a couple of different sizes, but I have a medium. Mine is a beautiful gray color, but you can get lime green, white, red, navy, black.
Yeah, you like the dark colors. I like the bright stuff.
Yeah,
more.
I do like the dark colors. I really love the gray. These journals are so good for pretty much any kind of journaling, but I'm really into bullet journaling right now.
What is that?
So I've been doing it since last August. It's a way to keep a journal that is part journal, part to-do list, part calendar, part planner. It's all of these different things. And the reason it works so well for that is because each page is a very light square grid. So you can write on it like lines. You can trace the squares if you're making like a checklist. It has a wraparound elastic band to close the book. It also comes with 2 attached ribbon bookmarks. It has a table of contents in the front, and it has a folder attached in the back. So like if you wanted to put in stickers, or I have a tiny little ruler that I use. It's a really, really great format. You can use it for so many things. And I'm a big list maker. I make lists all the time. Grocery lists, books I want to read, chores I want the kids to do, things that need to be done around the house. I just make lists constantly. And this keeps all my lists in the same book. It's so great. And I'm already on my second one, and I started in August. Like I said, you can get tons of colors, and I bought mine from Amazon. It was $19.50, I think. But you can also get them at Target, at bookstores, pretty much anywhere that sells any kind of type of nice notebook. Not like Walmart. Walmart doesn't sell them. But yeah, they're called a Leuchtturm. It's Leuchtturm, and mine's a 1917. And also, if you're interested in starting a bullet journal or learning more about it, there are about 1,000 different Pinterest pages that have different bullet journal information and hacks. And then there are also a lot of Instagram accounts that I follow that are about bullet journaling. It's a really tidy way to keep your life sort of in order. So listeners, you can find all of our Cheeks of the Week and send us your questions on our website, somethingcheekypodcast.com.
That's our episode. Please leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at SomeCheek.
You can also check out our other podcasts where we talk about the TV series Vikings.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Dig-a-da-dum, dig-a-da-da-da-dum.